The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to the wonderful world of wellness with Dr. Andy Mencia. This medical program heard from 7 to 7:30 each Saturday right here on WSBR 740 AM is brought to you by the Adult and Geriatric Center under the medical direction of geriatrician Dr. Andy Mencia. Okay, well here we are, Saturday morning. Good morning. And Dr. Mencia, as you know, will be at the expo, and we're going to have a wonderful booth where Dr. Mencia will be signing his books. And, I know that you're so smart about the kidneys, but what do you know about the liver?
Well, the liver, that's a great question, Anita. First of all, good morning. Second of all, we had a staff meeting yesterday with the administrator at my office, and we were talking about the expo, and everybody's so excited, so excited. They want to come, and I say, it's not for us to gain new patients. It's just for our friends that listen to us on the station. Let's be there for them. So this is our way of being there to shake hands with people, people that know you for over 20 years, and people that are learning to know me now.
They want to put the face with the voice, right?
And so many of the patients, they come and they say, what does Anita look like? Are you guys engaged? Are you guys married? I said, we are more than married.
Yeah,
we are more
right.
than
we
engaged.
are really engaged
We are
here.
partner in crime.
Right. We're glued to the microphone together, and it's going to get better with the television, right?
It's going to get a lot better with it.
Will you sign your books? I know you have this wonderful book that you wrote, on the liver, and
on the kidneys.
The next one's on the liver. On the kidneys, of course, and it's really important, and we've done so much on that. But will you bring your books and will you sign them?
I will bring some books. I will bring some pictures, and then of course I will sign it for whoever wants it.
It's called Take Care of Your Kidneys so they can take care of you.
Yeah, I'm so proud of that book. That book is all about prevention. I had a new patient that came to see me. And a young guy, his wife is my patient, Mr. George. And he came to see me and he said, my wife is all into prevention. And she asked me to come and see you. So he was forced to see me. But he was so happy after the visit. He told me how pleased he was, that he came in, that he listened to his wife, came to see me. Because,
what was his problem?
He had a prostate cancer that was removed, and his PSA was a little bit high, not too high, under 1, which is normal. And he also had a very rare gastric tumor that was removed. So I clicked with this guy because I had another patient like him that had a gastric tumor.
And a gastric tumor. What is a gastric tumor?
A gastric tumor is a tumor of the on the wall of the stomach, and it's a benign tumor, but it can grow really, really big.
How do you know you have it? I mean, does it?
You have no idea you have it. There's no tumor marker. You have to have a good clinician to examine you and, look at this. He was diagnosed by mistake. He was diagnosed by his urologist, was doing an ultrasound for his prostate, and they see this mass above the prostate, and they find out he had a tumor. They started, of course, doing CAT scan and doing this and doing that. And they say, something else is there. So at the same time they went for the prostate, they found this tumor, by luck. But I had another patient. I was telling him, I met this guy in his 40s in a nursing home. I won't say the name of the nursing home. It's not a good nursing home.
But why would they be why would he be in a nursing home?
40-something,
right.
42-year-old guy in a nursing home. And because he was black, and everybody thought he was HIV positive. And they put him on hospital because he was so cachectic. He was losing weight and all of that. So I say, well, if he's HIV positive, and they transferred because I was a new doctor. This was like 16 years ago. So they transferred the patient to me. I say, well, the new doctor let him have the HIV positive hospice patient. He's going to die anyway. So they transferred the patient to my care. And I started going through the chart, like, when was the last HIV test? And I say, okay, he's in hospital. You cannot do blood tests.
Is that true?
Yes, you don't do blood tests on a hospice patient unless it's absolutely for an acute problem. So I went on and I said, I need to document this. So of course I ordered the blood test, and they say, nope, you cannot have the blood test because the patient is in hospice. But he was like a menstruating woman. Every month he has to go and get transfused, and nobody could tell me where he was losing blood from. We did the stool full of cord blood. We couldn't find no blood in the stool. I did the urine. There was no blood in the urine. I say, where is this guy losing blood from? Doesn't make sense. And it was every month clockwork. And I say, I know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this guy to the hospital for the transfusion. I'm going to keep him there. I'm going to steal this guy. So he went for his transfusion, and I said, do an HIV test on him. And they looking at me, well, he's in hospice in the nursing home, not here. Do an HIV test. So we did the HIV. It was negative. And I said, so he's no HIV. And I said, okay, I got to work up this guy. I did a CAT scan. I did everything. And then I called the mother. I said, listen, your son has a tumor. Likely he's going to die on the operating table. Likely. Very, high potential of he dying. I want to take a chance. I spoke with your son. He trusts me. He want to take a chance with me. He might die on me. But I want him to die doing something for living.
Beautiful.
Let's do it. Come on. And the mother, I don't know. I said, go and talk to your son. And the son, he told me, don't.
Because he can't live like this anymore, right? What's the difference?
He was going to die.
Right.
He spoke with the mother and said, if you don't let this doctor that really care for me do whatever he want to, I fire you as my power of attorney. And I'm going to put him as my power of attorney.
I love it.
So I want to keep you because you're my mother. I want to keep you on the case. Please let him do what he want to do. Let me die fighting. That's what he's teaching me. Die fighting. Don't die giving up.
I love that.
And we took him off from hospice. I called the surgeon. We went inside there. The tumor was the size of a watermelon. We took that tumor out, and the guy was like 78 pounds, something like that. Really, really skinny. All bones. But he's like 6'2", 78 pounds, 6'2". He was all bone, no muscle. We took that tumor out, and he still come to the office and see me. He's almost 200 pounds. I keep saying,
How long ago was this?
This was about 15 years ago.
Dr. Mencia, that's a fantastic story.
And he come to see me, and I see this guy, and all my nurses have to meet Whipple. I say, come and meet Whipple. This guy is a gift from God that was given to me.
Yes.
To be a good doctor. That guy.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, my heavens! What a story that is. Now, let's just talk a little bit about. We started off, and I'm sorry I got involved with the expo, and you did, and about the people who were in the books, but. And I know that you've done something, of course, on the kidneys before. But
you know why I love this show?
Why?
You know why? Because people that listen to us, they come and see me, and they bring me, what a great case to come and talk to the show, the show, and educate other people.
I think what you just
said,
though,
I don't
about
think we're ever going to stop.
And that's true, but what you said, and I love that as it's probably your motto. If let's fight. Let's not give up. Let's fight. That's very important. We have a lot of older adults, Dr. Mencia, who are just succumbing to what they have, and they don't have that motto, let's fight it. I might die, but let's fight dying before we die, right?
Exactly.
I love that, and we have to do, and you do it to people. See, you instill that in them. A lot of other doctors, and I have to say this, it's kind of ho-hum, you're 80 years old anyway, why bother, blah, blah, blah. But you're not like that, and that's why I admire you so much.
Thank you. Thank
that's
you so
very
much.
important. But
and,
maybe,
and I carry this, in my throughout my life, with everybody. You met Ina, that Russian girl that we're meeting.
Fantastic
and
woman.
I keep telling Ina, Ina, you have to fight. And yesterday I was talking to Sunita, one of my nurses. You're going to meet her, one of the sweetest persons.
You have the nicest people working there.
God.
I don't know how you...
And Sunita was confronting one of my supervisors. Because, she felt that, hey, this is what I think is right. And my supervisor disagreed with me, and she was confronting one of my supervisors, and say to the supervisor, and then I see her crying. There was an argument between them, and I say, Sunita, come to my office. Let me talk to you. So she came to the office.
Psychology degree coming into effect, right?
Yes. Well, my taekwondo. I say, come to the office, and I say, Sunita, when you are right, it makes no difference if you're talking to your kids, to your husband, or to a supervisor. You fight for what's right.
I love that.
So we have, in life we have to learn how to fight and move on. It's part of living. It's part of
that's true.
Doing the right thing.
And of course, I have met your incredibly beautiful daughters who. I had to put a plug in. I'm sorry. I know I'm trying to separate this, Jew, but we have a new show on Saturday at 4 o'clock.
I got to listen to
Dr. Rosemary in the afternoon, and you're going to hear dental tips beyond your belief by someone who is so enthusiastic. Do you know, it's just a wonderful thing for me. I have such a treat that Dr. Rosemary, I will tell you her last name is Mencia, but she's a fantastic dentist, and of course you can find her there at the Adult and Geriatric
Do
Care.
you mean, are you telling me on the air that she's competing with me?
Oh,
Come on.
I didn't want to get in the middle of this anyway.
Come on.
I didn't want to get in the middle of this.
Let's talk about this
That's why I
thing
didn't
now.
have her here in the morning. Now I don't have her here in the morning. I thought, no, I couldn't do that. But she's by herself in the afternoon at 4 o'clock on WNN 1470 AM on the dial. And she is one great woman. I got to tell you that. I can hardly keep her.
So she's on 1470?
1470 AM. It's the sister station. That's right. I'm separating you. I'm separating you.
I'm bigger than her. All right. Okay. Let's keep this going then.
Okay. Now that I got that through, I didn't know how I was going to do this morning, but I did it. Okay.
I knew you were going to do
Dr. Rosemary in the afternoon, not in the morning.
She's going to pay for this. This is my time, and I'm going to put.
Okay. Well,
I will send him an invoice.
No. We'll give you a little bit of hers in the afternoon, and one day, if you're both very well behaved, we'll have you together, but not for a while.
Impossible.
Not for a
Never happened.
Okay, now we're going to get serious.
Let's talk about the liver.
Listen, I want to tell you, my mother used to force me to eat liver. I know that's not the liver we're talking about, but my mother...
How did you cook your liver?
I'm sorry. But my mother said you have to have liver for the blood, blah, blah, blah. And I hated it. Now I love it, but I'm not supposed to. People say you shouldn't be eating organ food or whatever, but I don't. Do you eat liver?
Of course I eat liver.
You do, so
oh my God, I love liver.
So is it okay? I mean, might as well if we're talking about liver, we might can talk about a different liver, and then we'll go back to your liver, the food liver.
we can dance all over, don't we?
But it is good for you, isn't it?
Liver is good for you. Yeah, it's a good source of.
So my mother was right.
Yes,
my mother's always right.
I'm telling you, our folks were so right in
they
many
knew
things
so
they
much,
did.
didn't they? I know. I still think so much. Okay, but let's really talk about our liver
inside us. The liver is so important because the liver process all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the medication that we take for our body get processed through the liver. They get a lot of medication. They need to go through the liver and get activated. So imagine if you take a pill for your heart and you take another pill for whatever, a vitamin, let's say a vitamin. You take a vitamin just to take a supplement. The pill that you are taking for the heart and the vitamin that you are taking, the supplement, they have to go through the same pathway. Let's call it like a door to enter the room. Well, if we're going to go out of this room and you and I try to go at the same time, one of us had to give in and the other one had to stay behind. The door is not that big. And the liver is like that. Imagine having several doors, okay? And we call those doors cytochrome P450, and they have many different names. When you get your medication, it says this medication is metabolized through the cytochrome P450D1. This one to the cytochrome P450D3, D4, A6, and so on. Those are doors that the medication need to go through. Many times, vitamins and minerals go through the same doors.
So that's not good, right?
And that is no good, because the vitamin of the mineral can saturate, can overwhelm the door, so that the medication had to stay behind.
Wow.
So imagine if there's only one Anita and there's 20 Andy Mencia. And Anita have to weigh on the back because I multiplied myself by 20. So Anita have to weigh, and now she become 21.
Huh.
By the time she's getting ready to be processed, there's another Anita now behind you. And there's another 20 of me.
Wow.
So the two Anita have to weigh behind. And so on. So the vitamin and mineral that you take, they have to be processed through this door, and the medication keep falling behind the line. And the person that went to the hospital for congestive heart failure can end up back in the hospital, and the doctor keep scratching their head and say, why? I gave you the medication. Is the patient really taking the medication? And the patient look like a liar because, the level is low in the blood. The medication is never being activated. The patient is really taking the med, but it's not being activated by the liver. So the liver is extremely important for processing all our food, processing all our vitamins and minerals, and processing any medication that, God forbid, we had to take for our health.
This is amazing stuff. I mean, this is so important. I am so glad you share this. And of course, what I love about the way you do this is you do put it on such a level that people can understand what you just said about
I'm a
doors.
professor.
You are. I know you do. But just to talk about the
even
doors.
When I teach my Nova student, I tell them, listen, I know you're supposed to be educated, but I want to make sure you understand the concept.
The concepts and they stick with us, and it's really it's wonderful. So you're saying that if your liver is not functioning, on top of that, even if you take medication, nothing's going to happen. And how do you take care of your liver? I mean, what do we do for our liver?
Okay, so that's a great question. The first thing you want to do, you want to be cautious of your amount of alcohol intake. You want to be cautious with getting infections such as hepatitis A, hepatitis B, hepatitis C. Hepatitis A, you can catch. Hepatitis A, you can catch them just by eating seafood. But it's
bad seafood.
Yeah, bad seafood, of course. And if it's contaminated, you can get hepatitis A that way. Now, hepatitis B and C is sexually transmitted, or through blood transfusion. That's why I'm very cautious. If I have to send a patient for blood transfusion, I have to be very cautious to making sure that the patient really need that transfusion. And the most common way that we damage our liver is by ignoring a doctor that cares about you. And all having a doctor that doesn't give a damn about your vitamins and minerals and say, it has nothing to do with me, you show me the medication I prescribe. That's a bad doctor. And I want that on the air. That is a really bad doctor. Because what our audience is learning today is that all those vitamins and minerals get processed through that liver. And if your doctor don't want to hear about the vitamins and minerals that you are taking, then that's a dangerous situation.
But Dr. Mencia, a lot of them don't really know.
They don't know exactly.
How did you? Let's just take a step back. Did you make this a way because you knew you needed to know about all these various supplements? Is that something that you worked on? You took classes in it. How did you learn all this?
My father.
I know your father and being Hawaiian.
My Hawaiian father taught me to be a humble person. And I remember when I opened my practice, there was a patient. I say, bring me the medication you're taking, including vitamin, because it wasn't by incident. It was in the history and physical. It was a part of the note in the history and physical. And I see, it says here vitamin, medication and vitamins. So I told my patient, I want to know the medication and vitamin you are taking. It was in the paper, written down as I'm taking the history. What's your age? What's your, blah, blah, blah. Are you married? Are you single? What's your occupation? And there's a line there that say, patient's vitamin and medication. So I asked the patient, innocently. And the patient said, oh, my vitamin, I will have to bring it to you. I'm taking so much. I said, okay, bring it to me. I want to see it. And he brought me a box full of vitamins. And the guy was taking like 40 different vitamins. So I scratched my head. I said, I don't know what is this. And I understood why many doctors just look the other way. And I say, well, let's make a list. And we made a list of the vitamin, and then I studied. And that's the part that I'm grateful to my father, because most people would not be humble enough to say, should I care about this, or it's none of my business. So I said, let me learn about this. It's a lot of vitamin. So I started reading the vitamin, studying about the vitamin like my patient did. And, a lot of times the patient know more than the doctor about the different vitamins, what they're going to do for you, etc., than the doctor. The doctor, they don't study those things unless they have a condition themselves that now they need to take a vitamin, and then they will study that vitamin for themselves.
And then at the time, you didn't even know about the doors.
Exactly. So when I read all this vitamin, I say, oh my God, when I see this vitamin on line number 1 and this vitamin on line number 8, they are contradicting each other from what I'm reading. So I kept doing research, and the research kept showing that these two vitamins should never be taken together. So then I went back to my patient. And I say, one thing that I learned from that patient, his last name was
it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a Jewish name. I forgot his name. But anyway, what I learned from this patient, that he was duplicating the amount of vitamin he was taking. So some of the vitamin had vitamin C 3 or 4 times. Or, I say, you overdoing it. You are overdoing it. Look at the vitamin C. Look how much vitamin C you're taking. Vitamin CoQ10 was on 3 or 4. You're overtaking CoQ10, and then he was on an antidepressant too. And the CoQ10 was interfering with the antidepressant from my study, from what I'm researching. And he said, the psychiatrist keep raising my antidepressant, but it doesn't work. Maybe we should switch it. I say, no. Your vitamin is interfering with your antidepressant. So no matter how much he raises, that door, it can get through.
And it's really, and you explained this, so the liver, though, is the organ that filters all this and helps.
No. That's the kidney. The kidney filters. The kidney will filter. The liver is the factory.
Liver's the factory.
Is the factory. So if I want to make a shirt, right? and you cut the different pieces of the shirt. I have to put it together. I'm the liver. So you can cut pieces all you want. I look like a liver. You believe this?
Sorry.
She's calling me a liver now. I'm out of here. I never been so offended in my life.
Listen, livers are good. You just told me it's the greatest thing. So you're,
Yeah, I love to be a factory.
You love to be a factory. You are a factory. So the liver's the factory of everything that goes in your body.
Everything that goes in your body, no matter what you're taking it for. As a matter of fact, some of the ointment and cream that you put on transdermal go through the liver to be processed. Very few medication will act without being processed. So let's say, for example, if you're having chest pain and you put a nitroglycerin under your tongue, the reason you put it under your tongue, you can put it through the rectum and it will get absorbed also. But then it will go through the liver because the rectum, all the veins go through the liver before it gets to the heart. But if you put it under your tongue, it also gets absorbed right away. And before it goes to the liver, it goes straight to the heart. That's why when you're having chest pain, you put a nitroglycerin under your tongue. The reason you do that is not for convenience, it's because it bypasses the liver. That's the main reason. So there are very few medications that we take that bypass the liver before they act.
Well, before I bypass you to bring Terry Rodriguez on for our next show, I have to say that I think this is what
you're talking about. Beautiful Terry Rodriguez here with us, and you're talking about my wife.
No, but we're going to talk about the liver part 2. Wait, listen, this is part 1. I think we have to do a part 2. It sounds like it's very important, and we really just touched on it.
The liver is a very, very important organ.
So maybe we can do it in another time. But you did give us enough information at the moment about this. And so what I would like to do is we're just going to take a tiny little break, because we're going to then go to Terry Rodriguez.
Before we take a break, if you guys want to see me, some of you that have been listening have not made up your decision, come to the expo. If you want to come to the offices, the phone number. What's the phone number?
That's good. We do this, don't we?
We talk so much.
We get so big.
954.
Yeah, right.
489. 1345.
Okay, wait a minute.
Our office is located on Commercial Boulevard.
Okay, no, we're going to do this. Phone number is 954. Remember, it's Pencil Talk Radio, 954-489-1345. And if you just, that's the phone number for an appointment, 954-489-1345. But come to the expo. You'll get to meet Dr. Mencia. You can ask him questions if you want.
I'm going to bring Terry with me.
Oh, she's got a big booth. Oh, my God. She's fantastic there. You're right next. Actually, I think you're right across from Dr. Mencia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you get two in one.
She said, Terry, be careful. She's a matchmaker.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll tell you something. I am so happy, and you can stay around because we want to try to figure out how hearing aids and livers go. I don't think they quite go. I know you've come with notes, but, Terry.
My notes.
Yeah, I just want to introduce you because Terry is the president of operations at Cleartone Hearing Center, and, and you make hearing...
With Dr. Shapiro.
Dr. Shapiro, yes. 18 years worth, right?
Yes, 18 years.
A long time. So let's just talk, though, about the hearing, and I know you did a great article in the last Boomer Times, and because it was on, age